Our podcast is a part of the World Podcast Network, now with over 1,000 podcasts. Visit the World Podcast Network at worldpodcast.network to listen to podcasts in over 12 genres. Come vote our podcast episodes up and help us rise on the leaderboard. If you have a podcast of your own, you can join for free. Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Tanika, and today we are going to be discussing MILF Manor. But we don't have anything to discuss on the top of the episode. We're just going to jump right in to it. So, MILF Manor, Season 2, Episode 6, Failure to MILF. Failure to Launch is a good movie. I mean, Matthew McConaughey's in it. What more do I need to say? And also said that was Sarah Jessica Parker movie, right? Anyways, let's do it. Yeah. Wait a minute. Is there... No, because they had Mamma Mia and Matthew McConaughey is not in that. But this is the second Matthew McConaughey movie. Anyways, continue. So we are right back where we left off with the kiss between Barbie and Chris. And I guess the kiss was so damn good that Barbie needs to ask, are you getting a bony? A what? That's what I'm going to say to my boyfriend. I'm literally going to say, oh, you have a bony. That's literally what I'm going to say to him. And he's going to say, what? I mean, pony. It feels... Anyways, let's continue. But we kind of see Lynette. She's like, I want to be nosy. I want to know what's happening. And Joey says to Lynette, like, do you know that Jacob kissed her, like, on the beach? There we go. And Jacob explains what happened. And he's like, does that mean something? No, you fucking idiot. No, it doesn't. Okay. I have started watching Below Deck Med, and I will be doing a bonus for it. But he's on that episode, and he's the primary. That part I wasn't expecting. Whoa. Anyway. So yeah. Lynette feeds into it, and because here's the one thing, he's blowing it out of proportion, but he is honest about what the kiss was. But Lynette's like, yeah, it does mean something. No, it doesn't, Lynette. But in the moment, she says, listen, older women need a man who kind of just knows what he wants. If Jacob's going to sit on the sidelines, it's not going to work for him in the long run. You could have told him that part. Anyways, I think it's too late anyway. It doesn't matter. Meanwhile, while Jacob is over-exaggerating a peck, Crystal and Stacy are going to go do like a little mini date. And he thinks, he thinks they're on the same page. He wants to continue that. And he's like, I just moved differently since divorce. I guess he's kind of, in a sense, trying to make it seem like he didn't focus on the communication of a relationship, because maybe the communication was the breakdown in his marriage. And he wants to really focus on having great communication with someone he ends up being with. He doesn't want to have his heart broken again. And I wish that he could kind of explain that in layman's terms to her, because I think she would understand that. Because the thing is that she's annoying me in ways, but at the same time, I have to remind myself, like, she doesn't have the full picture because he's not fully giving her everything. But he does kind of say to her that, where he asks, like, do you see yourself wanting to get married again? Or are you good with, like, just having, like, a life partner? And she says, which I thought her answer was politically correct. She says that, could she see herself getting married again? Sure. But if they were to have a discussion about not necessarily wanting to get married again, but they do want to have this commitment of being life partners, like she's okay with that too. And the reason I say I feel like this is a politically correct answer is because she wants to get married again, y'all. She does. Because if you saw her face when she was starting her answer, it was literally like, so does men want to get married in? Like literally what her, and again, like, that's kind of, I mean, I'm younger than Crystal, but that's kind of how I thought about things too, is that I didn't necessarily want to get remarried again because at the end of the day, like getting married and then having to go through divorce, it's hard because you go into a marriage thinking, yeah, this is gonna work. You're gonna be this person for the rest of your life. You do it in intentions of you love this person. And when that doesn't work out, no matter what the reason is, when that doesn't work out and you got to go through a divorce, even if it is the best decision, it is still one of the hardest decisions and one of the hardest processes to go through. And it's mentally taxing, no matter what the situation is. So when you can kind of pinpoint the reasons as to the breakdown of your marriage and communication, which is huge. It was a bone of contention in my marriage. The communication is so crucial in a marriage that when you know that's the reason why it didn't work, or is one of the reasons why it didn't work, although can we not pretend that we don't remember Miles telling us that he cheated? Okay, I'm just saying. That's the main fucking reason. Not so much the communication. Maybe the communication, his part is more like, I wasn't happy in my marriage. Something was missing, so I cheated. But the cheating is the reason. But we'll pretend because I don't think Stacy knows that Miles said that. So we're gonna pretend what he's saying is gospel. But he is saying, like, if I've pinpointed the reason, I need to make sure that reason isn't the demise for a future relationship. And that's what he's focused on. So, and I don't fault him for that because you do need to focus on that. Anyway, back to the mess that is Jacob, Joey, and everybody else. We have Joey telling Chris, because now Chris and Barbie are all hopped up back in the house. And we see him telling Chris, listen, you need to go talk to Jacob. Okay? Trust me. You're going to want to talk to Jacob. Go talk to Jacob. Talk to Jacob about what? Talk to Jacob about the fact that Jacob just, that's it. No tongue. No nothing. Nothing. There wasn't even the turn of the head and the lick of the wrist. There wasn't any of or the flick of the wrist. There was nothing. Nothing happening here. So what the fuck is Jacob going to tell Chris? And I love how Chris actually handled himself in this moment too. We'll get to it. But yeah, Jacob, Joey just kind of like, you need to go talk to him. You need to go talk to him. And meanwhile, while Jacob is going to talk to Chris, Joey tells Barbie, because Barbie wants to get water, and he tells her, get your water. Yeah, come on, let's go. We gotta talk. Get your water. Hurry up. We gotta talk. And I was like, who the fuck? The attitude. Typical Italian from good old, where's he from? Jersey, New York? One out of two. And he's just like, the attitude in him in this moment is like, who the fuck? And Barbie's like, why? I think she actually said no. Like she didn't want to talk to Joey. She's like, no. I think I heard her say that, but I can't remember. But I'm just like, my guy, what is your end goal with this conversation? Now, I want to give Joey the benefit of the doubt because he's being fucked over here by Jacob. But it's just like, anyway. So, yeah. So they go off by the stairs. They're talking, and he's like, listen, I want to say something to you because I know you do the same for me. So I heard that you kissed Jacob on the beach. And immediately Barbie's like, I'm not fucking doing this. I'm not fucking doing this. Why are you guys talking about my love life and how I'm moving through this? Why are you talking about it? She's like, I'm not doing this. You tell him to figure it out. Amen, Barbie. But it's like, yeah, I've been saying that from last week. There's nothing to what Jacob is saying. What kiss? I'm sorry, but she kissed Jacob the way you kiss your kid or your other or family members or platonic friends. Hell, I feel like platonic friends see more action than this kiss. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? And then we have Jacob telling Chris that he kissed her, and he's like, I just wanted to tell you. Figured, you should know. Why? Why does Chris need to know about something that meant nothing? Again, a peck. Nothing to it. And Jacob, I think at this point also says, yeah. And Joey's talking to her at the same time that I'm talking to you. It just feels like a gang up on all of their parts. It's unnecessary. But Chris is like, well, thanks for telling me. But I've done way worse with girls who actually have boyfriends. So like I'm not gonna hold that against her. And again, I mean, that's problematic. But on the other hand, this is an experiment. And let's remember, this is an experience. This is a process where you're not tied down to one person. You're going to explore and figure out where you want to be and where you want to go. So her kissing, if you want to call it that, Jacob, and then 4 hours later kissing Chris, that's the name of the game. That's the name of the damn game. Who gives a shit? At least she's only kissed 2 people. You have people on The Bachelorette kissing people, like all of them. All of them. You get a kiss at some point in the show. Even the ones who get kicked off on night 1. No. But I'm just trying to make a point, like, who cares? Who cares? And Joey kind of comes in at this point and he's like, listen, like the fact, or I think Chris tells Joey, the fact that you kind of jumped in on this is a little theatrical. Amen. 100%. I mean, Jacob is the instigator here, or is the one that's blowing this up. But Joey is the one that's just feeding fuel to the fire. Don't you have a butt to bite or something? Like, enough. A fucking enough. And Jacob tells him, I just want to let you know that I'm going to pursue her. So is this what it's all about? A pissing contest? You just have to make sure Chris knows that you're going to pursue her. Get a fucking grip on life. Then all of a sudden, as they're talking, doesn't Barbie just come barging out of nowhere and be like, listen, I don't fucking appreciate you coming at me starting some fucking drama when you're out here playing with Christina and making out with Kelly in the hot tub. Barbie coming into play. But she's right. Because it does feel a little misogynistic. What's good for the goose ain't good for the gander, apparently. You're out here biting fucking butts, my guy. And you've been 2 butts. But we're gonna have an issue with Barbie kissing, technically, really not truly, one person. I love how he's making a big deal out of this when y'all shared food on your first dates. Like that is more of a something. But it's just, who cares? Who cares? I don't care. I don't know if this is the way to make maybe get the viewers on their side or some shit. I don't care that Barbie kissed you, him, whoever else. I don't care. Live your life. Get book wild. Go to the Wilfrey room. We all sat through, Jesus. I just had a realization that Jacob would have been too young for Jersey Shore. Letting that one sink in. Yikes. Anyway, we've seen way worse on Jersey Shore. The smoosh room was a wreck. At least the real free room seems to have some class in comparison. You know, the main point I'm trying to get at is who cares? Who cares if she kissed Chris? And then potentially, if you want to call it a kiss Jacob earlier that day. Who cares? Anyway. But Chris pulls her back into the house, says, "This isn't you. Don't do this." And I got a little confused here because I feel like I missed something. Did he say something to warrant her getting mad at him for not supporting her? I don't know. But she gets mad at Chris and basically says, "Check yourself." And says I'm not going to get blamed for having a normal reaction to something that's being done to me. Yeah. I think how she reacted is actually way nicer than what it should be. Because again, when you add a layer of misogyny to it, he deserved way worse. So while Joey is doing it in the moment after all of this, all you end up hearing is liar, liar, liar. And it's Barbie calling Joey a liar. It's great. That's basically it for all that drama. The next day, Christina and Kelly are talking, and Christina says, "Yeah, I like David, but I'm still into Sam." And Kelly's like, "Yeah, I really like Connor too." And she wants Connor to kiss her, but she's still loving Joey. It is what it is. Then we get, sorry, before we get the message, we got Michael and Chris boxing, or more so, Michael helping Chris box. And you know what? He's actually decent. There's one point where he did this move where it's like lightning speed. It felt like lightning speed. He seems decent. But yeah, they're kind of just talking about, his day with, Barbie the night before, and it is what it is. Then we see Ashley. Now this got me. We see Ashley talking to the other dads, and he is struggling with dating. He says that he really loved his wife and she was his world. And we see him crying at this point. And the thing is for me is I love Ashley, but I do wonder, is this the tears of a man who realizes what he had now that it's gone? Or are these the tears of a man who's truly heartbroken, but somewhat blindsided by the divorce? I don't know. But either way, they're still pretty. He's a pretty crier. He is a pretty crier. Anyways, he's trying to rebuild. It's tricky. And it is in the moment he says that I was broken after the divorce. Yeah, divorce breaks you sometimes if, it's not for the weak. And he mentions that I had a heart attack. He's like, maybe from the stress of the divorce, but he had a heart attack, and the only person that was there by his side was Jacob. His wife wasn't there. His other two kids weren't there. It was just Jacob. Lord, that's really sad. that no one could like turn up for him after having a fucking heart attack. But Stacy kind of says, yeah, you know, it's different, you know, with the person you marry or your former, you know, your life, because you're able to give them everything. You're able to communicate with them, trust them, in ways that you never trusted before. And he's like, it's not easy to trust like that again. No, it's not. But then we get a text. Now it's text time. And we're going to start sexting. And Kelly Mack says, what's sexting? I don't know what sexting is. I know texting, but what's sexting? And what they're going to end up doing here is that the women are going to be heading into the rivalry room and take steamy pics and send them to the guys that you like. And if you have multiple men that you're into, that's fine. You can send them to both of them. Hey, Crystal. And this moment was like, I'm good. I'm not to worry about it. I'm good. And Kelly in the other moment kind of says, you know, opening up is hard. And, you know, sending pics like that is meant for a special person. Nope, that's a lie. I'm lying. Lynette apparently has done a boudoir shoots before. And Kelly says that she has never done sexting. Or yeah, Kelly Mack has never done sexting before. But she is, you know, holding a cowboy hat over her boobs, and yeah. She said she sends her pics to Darren, obviously. Next is Lynette, and she is butt ass naked, and she takes pics, in that moment. And obviously she sends her pics to Anthony, and he's all we hear from Anthony when he sees the picture of his Mamma Mia. And Joey says, listen, I want pics from all the women. You know, give me Crystal, give me Christina, give me Kelly, give me Barbie. He wants it all. He really just Joey, my guy, honestly. But next is Crystal. And she says she doesn't usually send pics to guys that she hasn't at least gone to first base with, but here we are. But yeah, she's gonna send these pics to Stacy that hopefully can spark some action. Maybe. Then Stacy gets the pics, and he's like, excuse me, fellas. Like, instantly. And he's like, should I respond? Yeah, you gotta say something, Stacy. She put all this work into, you know, do the photo shoot. You can at least do some. And he says like usually he would ignore pictures that came his way. And it's like, you could do a heart or a heart eye emoji or the steamy hot emoji or something. Is that you're just like, eh. Next we have Barbie, and we see some of her pics from back in the day where I guess she said she used to do pictures for calendars, pinups and stuff like that. She was gorgeous. Like, gorgeous. But because she's done professional things like this before in her past, she likes to be a little more goofy, a little more silly. I guess to kind of show off her more silly side. We see her kind of taking pictures with bananas and shit like that. But she only sends her pics to Chris. Only. And she says, like, it's better to just nolly Jacob on. Yeah. But Jacob was like, you know, I was feeling confident that she would at least send one pic. But nope. Then Christina is next. She's kind of doing the librarian look. But she sends her pictures to David and Sam, and they are the same pictures. Which, not great, but whatever. Yeah, so then Kelly sends her pics to both Connor and Joey, but Joey's like, listen, I'm a #1 draft pick. He ain't gonna stick around while someone basically gets him away. But basically the people who don't get pictures is Ashley, Michael, Miles, and Jacob. But then it's later that night, they get another text, and it's Kelly reading it, and Kelly says, today's thing, challenge, whatever, made it clear who is currently with you and things about to change because of it. She says if you did not get a text from someone with pictures, you gotta go. Everyone's like, oh shit. I personally think Ashley is okay with this. He says such. He says, like, I'm not ready yet. Even though they say Chris is blubbering about Michael leaving, which is sad. I get it. But, you're gonna see him later. Michael's like, we had fun. We got to do a striptease together. That's fun. That's already a fun. But then we see Miles and Stacy talking, and Miles says that I didn't need to find love. I got a connection with you. I have the love that I was looking for. That is so sweet. And I hope they're still okay. I do. Stacy says that I'm going to be a better father. And then Barbie pulls Jacob aside and he apologizes to him. But he says, it's okay. Lynette wants to go to the Belfry room now with Anthony. And she's like, listen, I'm all in on him. And she's hopeful for him. And she really likes him. But that is the end of the episode. Next time on Handcuffs and Watermelon Challenge, what is happening? We're getting new people into the house, and these women look quite young. And one of the women that's come in, Lynette, we kind of hear her say something along the lines of, he cooks her dinner would, break my heart. And then we see him saying, and I'll cook for you. One trick pony. They all are. Anyway, that is it for MILF Manor for this week. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps. Every one of them, including, you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea x2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea x2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea x2 pod. We also have our email, which is at realitytea2@hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there, and you can find me there at www.realitytea2, all spelled out, .podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel, Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube, and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, was that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.